Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that every single thing in your home manufactured in China is gone. Your iPhone, your laptop, the LED bulbs in your ceiling, the microwave in your kitchen, all vanish into thin air. A total trade halt reaches far beyond the sticker price of a television or the seasonal inventory of a toy store. It targets the baseline functionality of American life. This block represents the $440 billion of goods the U.S. imported from China in 1 year, its largest single source. Inside is the industrial machinery for American factories and chemical precursors for infrastructure. The U.S. buys the tools to make its own products. 40 years of integration have conjoined these two economies. A sudden, forced separation threatens the vital functions of both. Day one begins with an immediate financial panic. Institutional investors understand a severed supply chain is an earnings catastrophe, and the market reacts within minutes of the announcement. This chart shows a projected 15 to 25% drop in the S&P 500, erasing trillions of dollars in paper wealth. Retirement accounts and pension funds take the hit first, long before a single ship stops moving. At sea, the logistics network freezes. Cargo ships mid-Pacific turn around, while vessels already docked at major American ports are detained as legal and diplomatic teams scramble to interpret the new reality. Most retailers operate on a just-in-time inventory system, keeping roughly 30 to 90 days of stock in local warehouses. Because of this buffer, the physical crisis remains hidden from consumers for the first 72 hours. The first 3 days create a state of invisible paralysis. While the financial markets reel from the shock, a physical time bomb in the global supply chain begins to tick. By the second week, the internal buffers of raw parts in American manufacturing plants run dry. The just-in-time delivery system that maximized efficiency now creates a total production stoppage. In the automotive industry, a missing rare earth magnet or a specialized sensor stops an entire assembly line. A modern car requires thousands of components. Without the final 5% sourced from China, the other 95% cannot be finished. As factory floors grind to a halt, the effect spreads to the surrounding economy. Local steel mills lose their orders, trucking routes collapse, and the small businesses that serve factory towns lose their customer base. The same cascade hits the clean energy sector. Domestic production of solar panels and wind turbines relies on Chinese processed minerals and magnets, stalling the transition to renewable power across the country. Modern American industry functions as one node in a continuous global flow. Without that input, domestic production rapidly contracts. Entering the fourth week, the crisis moves to sectors responsible for public health and national defense. China produces approximately 80% of the active pharmaceutical ingredients used in American medicines. Hospitals must begin rationing antibiotics, blood pressure medications, and chemotherapy drugs as the final domestic stockpiles dwindle. Defense manufacturing faces a similar bottleneck. Modern munitions and aircraft rely on specialized circuit boards and high-precision sensors manufactured in Chinese hubs. Without these subcomponents, assembly lines for guided missiles freeze, leaving the military unable to replenish equipment during a conflict. China faces its own internal collapse. The United States is its largest export market. Losing it triggers mass factory closures and unemployment in coastal provinces, creating a level of social instability that threatens the central government. At the 30-day mark, the situation proves to be a catastrophic failure of critical infrastructure for both nations. The global economy functions as a high-speed network of dependencies. Severing the link between the world's two largest players sends a shockwave through every connected node, from Southeast Asian suppliers to European manufacturers. Estimates suggest this rupture would shave 2 to 4% off global GDP. For developing economies with thin financial buffers, this contraction triggers a worldwide recession. This vulnerability was built over 40 years of profit-driven corporate decisions. Each individual choice to move production overseas was rational for a balance sheet, but collectively they created a fragile macro system. The core lesson is that dependency without resilience is vulnerability. When a civilization relies on a single external source for its medicine and defense, that source holds a chokehold on its survival. A managed decoupling is already beginning as the U.S. and its allies invest in domestic semiconductor and pharmaceutical production. However, rebuilding that independence is a process measured in decades, not months.
The strongest force currently maintaining global stability is the threat of mutually assured economic destruction. Both powers are locked in an embrace, so deep that neither can strike the other without destroying themselves.